Hello there, everyone. So you are ready now to do your practice. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your pattern and you're going to lay it down on your piece of scratchboard, just your practice sheet. And you can either do this with a pen or with the end of your scratch tool. So you can use this end of your scratch tool to trace your pattern on, or you can just use a pen. I'm going to use a pen. So for this particular pattern, I want you to trace around the sphere. Okay, so you kind of have to press pretty hard for it to transfer over. And you might want to just carefully lift it up and make sure that it's transferring. Okay, and then you transfer these lines here, the kind of table line that the sphere is sitting on. And then you also transfer the shadow, and that's it. So just the shadow, the sphere, and then these two lines. And just double check and make sure that it's transferred, and I can tell that it has. Okay. Now, what you do not want to do at this stage is you do not want to then scratch off those lines. Okay. So I've got an example here. This is what you do not want to do. So do not go in and just like scratch off those harsh lines. What you're going to do is you're going to create your lights and darks by scratching to that line. All right. So always work with your pattern beside you, because that will give you a guide for where your lights and darks are. All right. So I know that my bottom half is light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scratch off up to that line that I just traced on. So I think I'm going to do kind of like a cross hatching. So I'll do a bunch of lines going one diagonal direction. Okay. Can you see how I went up to that line, but I didn't draw a straight line across? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my paper and I'm going to go across the other way. Again, going up to that line, but not drawing a line on it. Okay. So now let's go over here. I'm going to scratch some of this off because I know that this is going to be a light area. Again, I'm going to go up to that table line, but I'm not going to draw a straight line across. Okay. Now, when I think about my sphere, again, always using my picture as a reference, I know that it's lightest up here, and then it kind of fades to the darkest value down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start my cross hatching, again, going up to the line, but not over. Okay, so up in this area, I can put my lines pretty close together because I know that that's a really light area. And then I can just kind of do less and less as it goes out. I'm going lighter and doing a few less. Okay, now I'm going to do my cross hatching going the other way. So again, you can turn your paper if you want, or you can just cross hatch it going this way. Okay. And that kind of gives you a bit of an effect there. So now the shadow, you kind of run into a bit of an issue here. I'll show you. So I'm going to scratch up to the shadow like this. And of course, if I was doing this for real, I would be really taking my time a little bit more. But what's happening here is we've got this sphere here, and then we've got the shadow here. And right here, it's just black and black. So it's really hard to see, well, what is that? Where does the shadow start and the sphere end? So what you might want to do is just scratch it off just a little bit, just on that line. And as you can see on the pattern, that there's a little bit of a light spot right there. Okay. And if you think of it, if the light source was coming from this direction, there would be a little bit of light that would pop underneath that the light source wouldn't hit. So that's how you can kind of make that distinction there. Okay. And then I would go back and I do my crosshatch going this way. All right. So once you have that and you feel comfortable, then you can start thinking about what design you want to actually do. So then you can go on the internet, find a design, pick something that's kind of realistic, as opposed to something cartoony, because the realistic designs seem to have a little bit more of a shadow to them. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to put your design onto like a Google Doc. This is an 8.5 by 11, and your actual scratch art board is about half of this. So you want to fit your design onto a half sheet of paper. Get your teacher to print it out, and then you can transfer it onto your scratch paper using that same technique. So good luck, and I can't wait to see what they all look like.